Obviously, I don't want to repeat what happened in Baku, but mistakes are going to happen. You know, I'm only human at the end of the day, so it's going to happen. You know, obviously, I don't want to make those again, but I think they are going to happen no matter what they look like, and just trying to make sure that you move on from them is the most important thing, and learn from them. You know, it doesn't really matter if it's missing an apex or locking up, jumping a start, whatever. It's kind of how you learn from it and move on. That's the important part. So I feel like I've been able to do that in the week off and ready to go again.
How do you see the pecking order at the moment? Because Max Verstappen's won the last 2 races. Do you think that was track specific to Monza and Baku, or do you think he's genuinely a challenger at every race now?
Genuinely a challenger. I think if you go back to the beginning of the season, you know, they were challenging the first 6-7 races of race wins, challenging us in the drivers, and then we bought some upgrades, improved a little bit. A couple of weeks ago, they bought us some upgrades, and it seems like that's kind of put them back on the same level as us. So I think we're still expecting, and you know, we still come into every race with the ambition and with the goal of winning and wanting to dominate as a team and continue the form that we've had all season. But nevertheless, you know, it's a track where Mercedes, Ferrari, and Red Bull certainly over the last few weekends have been closer. So we expect battles, especially with him. Yeah.
Of course, I know that this in the past has not been particularly our strongest track. Plus, sometimes a bit unfortunate to get a better result around here at the same time. So yeah, just relaxed, just having fun here, outside of F1. Just having in that sense a good season.
I think what I found in that Baku was something different to other races, and you know, sometimes until then, I feel like some races when I score points, feel sometimes it comes from luck, but actually that Baku one was something felt different, and I think I got that without even luck, and so. From that, I definitely feel more confidence, more than others, and especially feeling more excited, more motivated into this weekend. So I love this track. You know, had a good feeling last year, especially in qualifying. I was enjoying quite a lot. So just missed the points in the end of the race, but still had a good pace overall. So. I can't wait to hit on track with the Red Bull racing car.
I think the last 2 years we've been reasonably good. Ferrari are often very strong here. They were on pole 2 years ago, and last year they were looking really strong until Q3, which sort of ruined their weekend. And of course, we know McLaren at the hot races, high tire degradation circuits are exceptionally strong. So I expect McLaren and Ferrari to be the two teams out in front.
You know, it was a good weekend. Definitely the best way to bounce back after a difficult period in Europe, and I was still a bit annoyed after the race because the podium was just so close, but was still, if I look back, was a really positive weekend, definitely what I needed, and to shift the momentum. So definitely, really looking forward to this weekend, and new track, new challenge, but we're ready to do our best.
I just feel a big boost of energy and a big boost of motivation just to keep going, because it's just something that I felt like I needed, just to confirm that I'm still working in the right direction, doing things right, and that when we put things together, the potential is very, very high. I think it was a narrative that I had been saying for a whole year, but it was almost difficult to buy it because you could see that I was struggling with getting results, but never with speed. But finally, a result like that, where we were almost on pole on Saturday and a very strong race pace on Sunday, just to bring home a solid podium, was exactly what I needed and exactly what the team deserved, what I deserve. And now it's time to try and do a good little end of the season with the same performance.
I would say it's not normally a track that we've gone too well at, but we've proven a lot this year that it doesn't really carry over from the previous years. So we'll be interested to see where we fall out. We generally don't like high downforce circuits, but we've noticed we are quite good on ride, and obviously this track's quite bumpy. So maybe it kind of one weakness is one strength, and we can do a good job here.
And Were there any pointers in Baku last time out? I know it was a slightly tougher weekend for you, but a great one for your teammate.
It was. I mean, realistically, over the weekend in Baku, we were strong the whole weekend. It was literally just qualifying. Bit frustrating in hindsight. Obviously, Carlos proved how quick the car was, and it was a bit of an uphill battle for me starting at the back after the crash. So it is a very different track, even though maybe you would think it's quite similar to Baku. The demands and the track temperature and the way the bumps are around this track, it does offer a different need, let's say. So I would say I'm maybe a bit more pessimistic going into this weekend, but still think we can score points.
I think the main thing for us is we've had a very strong car consistently across the board. So it's not necessarily the quickest of the midfield sometimes, but it's just been very, very consistent across all the races, always fighting for Q3s, and we hope that's the case this weekend. But at the same time, it's really hard to know. It's so close this year. It's so close right now, especially that I really don't know, but we hope so.
The car is going really well at the minute. Look at your performance at Zandvoort. Look at Liam last time out in Baku. You've been on the sim. How hopeful are you coming into this weekend?
I think it's going to be a track where obviously the car is working pretty much everywhere. It's a healthy car. Now it's just slow speed corners, just like Baku. But honestly, I'd rather be in a track with a bit more high speed. I think this matches more our car characteristic. But again, the car will work again this weekend. There's no hazard. And I can't tell you if it's a podium car, but it's definitely a car that can aim for Q3.
I feel optimistic. I think there's lots of positives to take from the last race. I'm definitely feeling better in the car, so this has been a track that's generally been good for me in the past. So I'm really excited to try a Ferrari here for the first time, and the different characteristics that it has compared to my previous cars, and try and see if we can execute better. If we can execute better through this weekend and qualify better, I think we can have a much better result.
I don't think we can expect any miracles. I don't think we were. I mean, again, in Baku, I don't think we were not competitive. We didn't do a good job in qualifying, and me the first to not put everything together and to not put a lap in Q3, obviously. But I don't think that we expect to be more competitive here. I think that it should be similar to Baku. If anything, I felt like McLaren will have even more of an advantage on a track like this. So we might be a bit further away to McLaren. However, compared to our main competitors, which are Mercedes, we should be a little bit in a better place if it stays warm, which I think it will.
What's the kind of approach to a weekend? You're obviously bedding yourself in as a Formula One driver now, kind of getting used to it. Do you change the way you kind of head into a weekend? You know, what you've learned from so far this year?
Not really. I think the approach is the same in every track. You know, even if it's the first time here in Singapore for me, I think it's the first time for me in every track with the Formula One car. That can be very different. So, like Baku, for example, is a track that with the F1 car is completely different than F2. So it's like a new track. And here, I don't think it's going to be different. I've done a lot of prep before this weekend. Obviously, a new track, you need to do maybe a bit more laps in the sim. You need to work more in other things. But, just take it in an easy way and build up through the weekend.
Well, it's a street circuit. It's got a lot of corners. It used to be pretty bumpy. They resurfaced a bit, so don't know, obviously, for now how it is. But, it's always street circuits. Fast ones are always challenging. It's never easy. Personally, I like it here. I've always felt kind of, comfortable and confident around here. So I look forward to it. And I think our car should like it here. It's dominated with low-speed corners, which I think it's towards the car's liking. So I hope it's a good match.
I think really the main thing that I want to stay aware of is the physical challenge of this race, because there's been a few races now where we haven't had much in terms of physicality. We've come from Baku and Monza, pretty simple races for the athlete, and now we're coming to here, Singapore. It's probably one of the most difficult. So that's why I really had a big focus on preparing myself physically, because on top of that, it's also a tough track mentally. It's a very tight street track. But it seems like the grip is pretty high here. Honestly, I'm just excited to get out there.
I think since the summer break, obviously we had very good Zandvoort as a team. The quality was definitely not great, but we were able to have very good car pace through the race and come back in very decent positions. After that, I think the tracks were quite difficult for us. There were some areas of the track where we were lacking quite a lot of pace in Baku and Monza. But yeah, I hope that here we will have more performance out of this car. It's a track that I really enjoy, especially since they removed that last sector that I didn't really like too much. I've learned to like this track more and more, to feel more comfortable with it through the years, and it's a track that I now really like coming, and there's a lot of support around here also, so it's quite special.
The mission at the moment for Aston Martin is to compete again. Do you think you're going to be able to compete this weekend?
I hope so. I think this track definitely is a little bit more similar to Zambor and Hungary, that we performed well. The last 2 months in Baku, they were a little bit uncompetitive. So, I hope that we come back to a more normal position.
We know how grueling a race it can be for the driver. Just want to get an essence of how you've prepared, physically, mentally ready for the weekend.
I've sat in the sauna all week. I mean, there's only so much you can do. It's a brutal race. I think the humidity is like 90%, and in the cockpit it's 55, 60 degrees. So just gotta suffer and take it on the chin.
I think realistically we know it's gonna be a tough one. Street track, very bumpy. Nonetheless, we're still coming, with the we're ready to give our best, and hopefully the weather can play a bit of a part into the weekend and give us slightly more chances. But no, we're ready for it. We just know that at the minute it's not easy for us.
I've been finding my feet, better. The last couple of races since Budapest, those last 4 races have been good in terms of performance, in terms of my pace. I've been alright, and I've been finding new things with the setup, with the car. The team has been pushing very hard to try and extract more from the car. We are struggling. It's not where we want to be, and the package is not what we were expecting. So we are pushing very hard to try and understand what we can improve and where we can get better. I'm sure there is gonna come better moments for us, but I'm very motivated by the team. Everyone in Alpine is pushing so hard to try and extract more from the car, to try and get better, and that's, I think, very special. It's a strength that the team is showing, that we are not where we want to be, where we should be. We are very far of a Q3 at the moment, but they are still pushing hard as if we would be fighting for the championship, and they are pushing extra hard in the factory every weekend. They are trying to find new things. They are staying up very late to try and get more pace of the car, and that's something very nice to see.